Okay, this is Jordan. Kind of a lot of crazy poses. I'm not exactly clear what's happening. Looks like he hits his leg and falls. It looks like most of it's still in stepped tangent. So the first thing I would do is select all the controls and boy, there's a lot of, whoops, there's a lot of keyframes awfully close together. So yeah, this is just for all the stuff you're doing, it seems much too fast. But let's change it to auto tangents before we do anything else. And that'll give us a bit of a clearer idea of what the motion really is. There's a lot of extra motions in here. Yeah, like he's super slow about getting his foot down, which is weird. Just the poses, I just think you need to spend a lot more time on just the basic poses. I think and he's just sort of skating here. Um, yeah, and the arms are going through the chair. So you need to really go to each pose and go, even starting with this one, like, his hand's sticking out. Should that be moved down? Next pose. Okay, his arm is going through the couch. You can't have the arm go through the couch, right? So you would need to move that up, you know. Um, and it looks like you're not keyframing all the controls every keyframe like I said in the module. Again, arm is going through there. Again, arm is going through there. Again, again, again. And then there's all these keyframes which I don't even know. They're not even for a pose. Um, and for some reason his foot is way high up here, and I'm not really clear on why that is. I just think you need to redo these poses. I don't really think there's a lot to salvage here. It's all so jerky and crazy, and the feet just slide around. See, it's like he's ice skating here. When you walk, you have to keep one foot planted while the other one moves. So one foot would have to be still while the other foot moves. But I think the main thing is you just really need to take really some time and care on each pose and make sure each pose looks right. And when you finish that pose, make sure you select everything and keyframe everything. Select all and set a keyframe on all. Ask for set keyframe, and then go to the next pose and make sure that one looks just right, and so on and so forth. But what we have here is, you know, and the head keeps moving up and down, and 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 I don't, it's not clear how he's standing up because he just sort of floats up, and then he moves both. He's sliding around on one foot while the other foot's in the air. And maybe this was over ambitious. Maybe just try to have him stand up. Get some video reference of someone standing out of a chair and just do that. You could do 10 poses of just someone standing up. But right now it's so jerky and crazy. I don't really know. There's not like one thing you could do to fix this. I would start over and just I mean, you can start with this first pose, delete everything, all the other animation, and just very carefully do the next pose, and then the next pose, and then the next pose. But right now, each pose is so problematic that it makes more sense to just do them again. So I'd select all, you know, delete all of this, you know, go forward to where you want the next pose here. Maybe you hold this one for 10 frames or something, and you can make some small adjustments here, um, and then go to another pose, and then maybe it's here where he puts his foot down. I can go to 0, rotate this to 0, move it over, um, you know, maybe he's gonna, and I would actually, by the way, let's just keyframe what we've got so far. I think I would do the arm, at least at the beginning, in IK mode so I can make it stick. So I'll select this and delete these keyframes and put this in the FK blend there, and then move this down. What the heck is going on here? No, it's just that it's overextended. Is that the problem? Okay, and let's get this elbow behind it. All right, great. So yeah, I mean, there's binding problems too, which you could refer to previous critiques if you want to fix that stuff. But anyway. So set that here. Middle mouse click to update the time without the position. Set a keyframe there. So we'll hold it there. Well, let's make sure this is keyframed as well. S, middle mouse click, S. Okay, so I'm just holding it. And then, you know, okay, and then for this pose, maybe he slides his hand forward a little bit. Let's make sure this is back behind there. Just getting ready to kind of push himself up. Obviously, you'd want to pose the fingers better, but I've set that keyframe, and maybe he kind of starts to bend forward a little bit. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. I might see if I could get this forward a little bit more, actually, for this pose. As forward as it dare to go. And then, maybe start to stand up. So we'll grab this root and, maybe up to that point. And maybe he's, unbending here a little bit. Let's just make sure everything's keyframed. Select all, S for keyframe. Okay, so here's what I have so far. And by the way, this is very, very rushed version of this. Like, I would expect to spend a lot more time on each pose, but now he sets that down. His arm is braced. It looks like he's sort of pushing himself up. Maybe you want to put this one in IK as well. You know what I mean? Just each pose. But I would spend 5 minutes, at least 10 minutes on each pose, to really get the poses right. In this demonstration, I spend 20 seconds on each pose. You know what I mean? So you really got to look at all the controls, look at your video reference, and get it right, and really just do one at a time and really think about how the character is moving.